just checks. And basically, I mean, I don't really know how I feel about residuals. I know that, residuals weren't always something that were a part of the WGA. They had to fight for them, and they were obviously important to have, but I feel like now, in this new digital age, the residuals here are about having money on DVD and internet sales, because we all pretty much know that that's where everything's headed. People are going to watch things more on DVD and on the internet than they ever are on broadcasted on television. And I say that a lot of it has to do with the blame of television and the fact that they haven't been able, Juiced is a new beta. The fact that somebody hasn't been able to just take the TV and realize we need to get it out of the format, and that television is locked in a format. And the only advantage you could say television has is the fact that everybody has a television, and it's instantaneous. The ability to take this is DirecTV remote. The ability to take this remote, hit the power button, and hit power button on the television, power button on the box, the satellite box, and be able to go to channel 23. I'm watching it. I have a guarantee that unless depending on what you have, what provider, I have a guarantee that I'm going to get the picture and the audio, and it's going to sync properly. On the internet, it's not that quick. So I think a lot of what's happening now with the internet is that it is not as instantaneous for me to have to turn on the computer. The operating system has to boot up. I have to go into my web browser. I have to go to the website. I have to click the show. I have to select the episode. And then I've been watching episodes of Heroes on NBC and ABC.com's used to be great, but I feel like now that there's millions of people, the pipeline is it's sometimes the episode won't play because the ads aren't there, or sometimes it just goes really, really slow and locks up, and you're just sitting there going, man, I probably have to watch this at like 2 or 3 in the morning at a time when no one else is watching it, when they would be asleep, in order to get a really good, clear sound and picture. And it's obviously everything is streaming because they're not going to put a file out there to download, because then nobody would buy the DVD, and you have to go. I mean, they have it on iTunes, and that's where you can pay $1 for it. But I really feel like that the biggest problem with internet is that they need to build a better pipeline, a secure pipeline that is as powerful as the television pipeline, where I just turn on my computer, and if it's a little widget or a little icon on my new operating system, whatever, I just click it and I'm watching the episode, and I have a 100% guarantee that it will always be in sync, and I'll never have a problem with it. Because if you don't want me to download it, I can understand that. You don't want it, piracy issues, you don't want it being put out there. You want me to go to the website, see it in that little screen, and hit play. But I need to guarantee that when I click it, my time is going to be wasted here going, oh crap, my bandwidth isn't, and I just feel like that's the biggest problem with internet and the biggest setback. And that DVD is obviously the second best perfect model. Of course, we all understand the concept of take the disc, put it in the player, and you're watching it. Except now what we have is, as we saw, they're trying to make money off HD DVD, Blu-ray, and DVD sales themselves. And I really feel like it's, I can agree with why there hasn't been a quick solution for this Writers Guild of America, because you can't, there's an old adage, look before you leap, and I think that that's really what's going on with all these studios, with the writers. They're basically saying, look, we respect you, we're not trying to say that we don't value what you do, but this is the future, and we don't know how this is going to work. We don't understand how this model works. Because just like as I said, I mean, just because a couple of people are going to www.whatever.com and watching the episode, and we're getting money from the ads, we have no idea how this is going. We have no idea how to a successful. Okay, this is the way it's done. This is the way it's always going to be done until the next thing comes out, and then that's the problem. This is still a new age. It's a new kind of water, the murky waters, and we're kind of wondering, well, how's this all going to work? How's everybody going to get paid off of this? How are we going to make money? And because I mean, today you say, well, okay, look, you're getting paid off the ads, but what if somebody comes up with something that could block ads? It's the internet, and you can totally build something that lets you skip through ads. It's not impossible. If you can create anything for the computer, it's definitely a pop-up blocker. So it's just a matter of time. I mean, they said that HD DVD and Blu-ray couldn't be hacked, and cracked, and it has been. So it really just, you have to wonder, like, okay, today you're getting paid for the Nissan commercial for, we'll take 30 Rock. Let's say I watch 30 Rock and I'm watching a Nissan commercial. All of a sudden, Firefox comes out with a new feature, that a new little widget that says, don't want to watch those annoying ads? Just click here. And even if it's built in, you don't know. Hackers are really smart nowadays, and they can find a way where people are just disabling ads. And that's going to be a real big problem for advertisers already kind of wondering, well, how do we know that our ad is going to be watched with certainty unless we put it inside the video itself, or we put a little a watermark or something on it? And that annoys people, but it's like, you know, advertisers need to know that when they're paying the thousands of dollars or more, that their ads are going to be coming out. And on television, that format is 100% perfect. You put in, you get ad time, and your ad goes out there, and that's it. But on the internet, you can totally build something to just say, I just want to see the content. And with YouTube and with all these new technologies, it's not 100% perfect for an advertiser to know that his commercial or his product is being put out there, or whether even whether people are not even looking at the ad itself, or it's just a couple of seconds. So it's definitely something that's new, and like I said, they have reason to be scared and to look before they leap. Another problem is that there's another site called dig.com, and on Dig they have a problem where basically you can dig, you take a story and then you dig it, and then hopefully get to the front page. Now, one of the big problems with residuals, as I said, is that, like, okay, how are you going to pay people residuals with internet? The difference between television and internet is that on internet, it stays on the internet forever. You just make that domain, you make that little space, and you can have 30rock.com/episode1, and episode 1 will stay there forever. So it's a matter of, like, when are ads going to come into that site, into that little place, and the question becomes, how do you pay a writer residually for that? Do you pay it on views? Basically, in the month, let's say 40,000 people have viewed it. How do you know that, like with YouTube and with Dig, you can cheat it and have some kind of system where you're basically, you have some little bot or something that basically goes in and keeps clicking it and clicking it and clicking it and clicking it, so that you get all these thousands of views. So advertisers don't really, a television, if it's on, and someone's watching it. But a computer, how do okay, you got to visit to a site, but that's like me going to YouTube. I mean, I can click something and immediately unclick it and leave, because I can go, well, I clicked the wrong thing. So does a view count as somebody watched the whole entire thing from the beginning to the end? How are residuals basically the same model as television model? Where on TV you can go to the Nielsen ratings and go, okay, this is the amount of demographics. On the internet, you're just kind of going by either IP addresses or who's visited it. But you really need to take more surveys to kind of understand, okay, who's watching the show, and how do because it's popular, but I mean, like I said, people like Dig.com. They have problems where people can updig their stories by cheating. So you're wondering, is that going to cost someone money in the long run? If you just get into a contract and you don't read it, and it says residually you'll get paid maybe a fraction of a cent per view or something, then writers or someone will eventually try and rig that system and say, well, I can get paid more money if I just use this bot to make more people watch it. So suddenly the studio is out of money. So it's really, they're being really smart in saying, we're just going to see where this all goes, and writers are basically, the problem with the WGA is that they're saying, well, we have to strike because this is the time for contract renegotiation. We can't just get a contract and then sign into something and go, we're just going to wait with you, because then it's kind of like, it's like saying, damn, if we had just signed the contract now and this thing gets big tomorrow, then we were stupid because we didn't get the money. So writers are just basically like, if you're going to get money, we want to get money too. And I mean that depends on what everybody